cmpradio.net. It's the station.
Hey Chester, how are you? This is LaNoana here today to introduce my podcast. This is my introduction of what is to come. First, I want to thank anyone that's here with me. I'm in front of a camera, so I'm not actually looking who's online with us live, but I don't want to take lightly anyone that is here listening. I did announce that I would be coming online tonight about 6. So I want to thank you for being here, whether you're driving, whether you're home listening, whether you just want some peace, whether you're listening to the replay. I do not take lightly that you have taken time out of your schedule to listen to me. So thank you. I appreciate that. What I'm going to do today is talk a little bit about Walking with LaNoana, a podcast that developed out of my last conversation in the studio with my cousin Pierre, me not knowing what the platform was for, and then fully understanding what the mission was. And here I am with a podcast, Walking with LaNoana. I want to start out a little bit, tell you a little bit about me, just to qualify myself, to get your interest and get you to support me, and tell you a little bit about my journey and how I even came to Walking with LaNoana. So born and raised in Chester, class of 85 graduate. Yes, 85. I expect you to be giving me some support here. I grew up on the west side, only child. A lot of people know my face, but a lot of people don't know me. And I know a lot of people's faces, but I don't know a lot about people. I've always been quiet and kind of to myself and introverted. But as an adult, I have found my voice in embracing that I am a storyteller, that I am a healer, that I am an energy practitioner, that I am love, I am peace. And I just want people to be happy. And one of the things I've learned on my journey is that we can't be happy if we don't know who we are. And we often think we know who we are. But if you've been through some stuff and you've experienced some stuff, you get to a point where you have to know yourself on a deeper level. And I challenge anyone that does not know themselves, their true self on a deeper level, to explore what that is. And possibly by this podcast, raising your awareness on some things, you will come to better know who you are. So I am a mother, a daughter, a grandmother, a great-grandmother. Yep, I know I look good, y'all, for a great-grandmom, but I am one. And my grandmother is still here on earth. She is 99 years old. My mom left way too early. My mom motivated me to start my nonprofit, Sowing Good Seeds, the Butterfly Effect. which was birthed out of all the chronic diseases that she was suffering. And when I returned to Chester to care for my mom, I recognized that not only my mom was experiencing this, but we had a whole city, all ages, intergenerational chronic diseases impacting our households. And for me, the root cause was eating healthy, living healthy, mind, body, and spirit. And from that, I birthed Sowing Good Seeds, the butterfly effect. It started with a workshop at the Bennett farm. I was up there volunteering, and I attended some workshops in the city, and there was some seed money available, and I developed this workshop to teach people to grow food, prepare healthy food. We shared love in the community, and we fed people. I gave out a lot of gifts like yoga mats, introducing Chester children to yoga. And out of that, I realized that it was bigger than just that workshop. So I started the nonprofit. And what I learned from that work was that if you get the children on board for what they need to do to live healthy at a young age, they're going to go home and challenge their family to also live healthy. And I had about 85 people attend that workshop. They came from Philly. It was like a 6-week thing. There were Chester participants in Philadelphia. And that was kind of my beginning of community work in Chester. And from there, I started going around to like the senior center, and I would talk to anybody that wants to talk about being healthy, not recognizing that I was taking my life for granted because I came to Earth vegetarian, probably more vegan now. That word wasn't popular when I was a child. And then my family, they thought I was not going to be healthy and took me to the doctor. And eventually I started consuming unhealthy things. And the fast forward is I've come full circle to know that a lot of things that we like to indulge in, we should never, ever have indulged in. Do I still participate in some of that? Yes. But for the majority of what I consume, I try and stay away from white stuff. What's white stuff? White stuff is all the stuff we love. Starches, potatoes, rice, grits, cream of wheat, bread, all of the stuff that we love. So I ain't even get to the dairy yet, and dairy products, definitely. All of that stops us from thinking. It stops us from knowing who we are. It blocks who we are, mind, body, and spirit. If you do not believe me, I'm going to challenge you for the next 30 days because this podcast is going to air monthly. So next month, 30 days from now, August 22nd, I want somebody to come back to me and say, I heard what you said, and I took the challenge. And I'm not saying do anything that is going to cause you pain. Give up one thing that you love, that you know is unhealthy, whether it's bread, sugar, milk, hoagies, potato chips, candy bars, fried food. Take your pick. Sodas, coffee, ice cream, Ritas. Give up one thing. 30 days. Meet me back here in 30 days and tell me that something did not change in your life. We're going to have to talk about that. I've been challenging people for at least 15 years on that, and the result is always, oh my goodness, I didn't know that such and such was causing me to not sleep. So, on the podcast, we're going to do a lot of talking about healthy things, but it's not all going to be about eating. We're going to talk about things like our children, surviving addiction, being in the matrix with these laws that don't apply to us. I have had some powerful responses to my post on this podcast coming forward. I actually have some guests that I went to Booker T. Washington School with. Our relationship started there, and we literally have not had interaction until the fast forward of the now. And that is exciting because there are people that have really experienced some things that catapulted them into their true self, and they are anxious to share those stories here on my podcast. So I'm hoping you're going to join us for that. So a little bit more about me. Author, first book, first program, love teaching, love speaking. I always show up authentically. And what I tell people, if you don't want to know, do not ask me, because I am always going to give you 100% truth, good, bad, or indifferent. It's just how I'm made. It's all I know how to do. So, author. I want to share a little bit more about me. So, let me back up a little bit. Teen mom in the city of Chester. I left Chester right after I graduated high school, and I went to a few other jobs, but corporate America, DuPont specifically, really impacted my life. And it caused me to be very organized in who I am. Corporate America, I tell all young people, if you really want to be in business, you should have a corporate America experience, because it is foundational for everything that you will need for business. So with that said, I always had planners, and you just had to be organized. You had to have time management being in corporate America. And so now I'm not in corporate America, and every time I have a meeting, I'm buying a journal or I'm buying something for me to take notes in. I was like, this is crazy. I can't keep doing this. By the end of the year, I have like 10 books. So this one year, I had this notepad, and it was on my birthday. And I wrote in there, and I drew a logo of what my journal was going to be. And I put it down. And about 2 months before my birthday the next year, I remembered that. And I got in action. And I actually launched this Organize Your Life planner on my birthday. I think it was 2023. Don't quote me on that. I apologize. I don't know that off the top of my head. But then this evolved. So I created this planner, and let me open it up so y'all can get a glimpse of what's going on here. So the first version had dates, and the feedback that I received was no dates, because I'm not disciplined enough to write in this journal every day, and it was a waste of my money, et cetera, et cetera. And I heard what was being said. So then I created, this will last for as long as you write. You just write in the dates. And, you know, if you go, hang on now, gotta get you. If you decide on this week, you going to like do something this week, but you ain't going to do nothing else until next month, all you got to do is put in the dates. This page right here came from the nonprofit. I hope you can see that clearly. I'm going to talk you through it. But this page is about discipline. It's about a mirror, and it's about change. I found that if we can see who we are, we will make a change, because we might not like how it looks. So you have a section for priority tasks, a to-do list, you track your purchases, You track how you sleep, when you sleep. You track if you work out. You track what medications you take, what herbs you're taking, how much money you spending, where you're spending your money. And if you actually do this and you look at it and you're not happy with what you're seeing, you will bring about change. And then on my journey, walking with LaNoana myself, I found that journaling healed me because you can write on paper what you don't want to speak to anyone, and you don't have to share it with anyone. So journaling is big on healing. I'm going to recommend journaling. Even if you just get up and just start writing whatever's in your mind for like 1 minute, it will bring about change. Trust me, trust me. The other feedback that I received on this planner was that there was not enough space for journaling and sketching. And so I came out with a journal and a sketchbook that's nothing but blank paper and lined paper so that you can just journal and sketch. It works, y'all. It works. The podcast, Healthy Living, Mind, Body, and Spirit, Mental Health, Eating Healthy, Thinking Healthy, Feeding Yourself Healthy Messages. All of that is going to be talked about here in different I can't think of the word that I want right there, but it'll be different for everyone that you hear from. Today, I just simply wanted to show up, let you know who I am, let you know a little bit about what we're going to be talking about. And I want to talk about my first guest segment that I'm going to have, which will be in August. I was a fatherless child growing up. I had a lot of men in my life, whether they were uncles, neighbors, men my mom was dealing with, etc. I had lots of men around me for that energy. But I didn't have a biological dad that I had a relationship with. The fast forward on that, which I'll probably talk about DNA in another segment, but I did a DNA test and found 6 siblings and a biological father in this city. I had never seen any of them. Y'all, Chester, for those that don't know, 3 miles wide, 3 square miles, basically. And that was a very interesting journey. But I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? Do you have any idea? All right, that's being goofy, y'all. I do that too, but I own it and stay authentic in it. There was something significant that I wanted to say about that. Anyway, on to my next segment, which is going to be, it was connected to that. Parents that use their children as weapons. That's where I was going with that. Not having a dad. And hearing the dramatics of what happens in the life of children that don't have both of their parents in the same household. You get caught up in the parents' drama. You get caught up in the grandparents' drama. And the long story short is our children suffer. And our children should not be in the midst of adult madness. And so as I was preparing for the podcast, I saw this brother on Facebook who I do not know, but he is going to be my first guest next month, Tyrone Ricks. He was talking a lot about what's going on with these children and the parents when there are child support issues, custody issues, drama between the parents, etc. And I just felt like that was a sign that I just needed to have him on first. He's my only guest right now that I have. I have 7 shows scheduled monthly, and I think I have a guest for every month but one, and I'm probably going to do that one and do something around DNA. But next month, if y'all will meet me here, we are going to have a very authentic, open conversation about our babies and our children and how they get caught up in our stuff and how we get caught up in it and the damage and the trauma that we are causing them. A lot of tension, a lot of unhealthiness, a lot of expectations that are unrealistic in raising our children, and then we wonder why they grow up and become disrespectful. And I'm not talking about all children. We have some great children in our community doing wonderful things, excelling well. I'm talking about those ones that get caught up and stuck in trauma and drama. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it's at the hands of the parents. So that should be a very deep conversation and stimulating conversation. That's kind of really what I wanted to do today. Just kind of wanted to introduce myself and welcome y'all to Walking with LaNoana. It's going to be an interesting journey. I'm hoping to share a little bit about my Peru travels. I have gone to Peru twice in the last year. That helped me come more in alignment with my true self, which I knew as a child. But when you can walk in a room and feel people's energy and feel people's emotions and know what's going on with a person and have the ability to work within that 3-foot energy field that surrounds all of us, because we all energy, whether you know it or not. We are created in the image of God spiritually, and we are in this human form. But when it's all said and done, energy is who we are. And I've always been able to work within energy. And my travels to Peru prepared and trained me to be an energy practitioner, which I'm looking forward to doing in this community and around the world. It is a very interesting practice, and it's really amazing what these bodies can do. These bodies are the most advanced technology on this earth, not the computer you might be watching me on, not the telephone that you're on. Anything that represents technology, remember it. These bodies, they breathe without us. Our organs perform without us. They will stop performing if we don't treat them right. Y'all get the point of where I'm going with that. That's who I am. I'm energy, I'm light, I'm love. I always have been, and I'm hoping to impart with you through my storytelling, healing, love, peace, and happiness to bring about change in your life. And I'm looking forward to you joining me over at least the next 7 months, because I have that many episodes laid out here. And remember, through your day, be thankful and grateful for everything that comes to your mind. It makes a difference. It begins, it's little things, these little seeds that we sow in our lives that bring about great change. And I'm hoping to impart some of the seeds that I've been sowing since I've been here on earth in your life to bring about some change, spark some things, motivate you. Peace, love, and happiness. Walking with LaNoana. Reminder, next month, somebody meet me here and tell me what you gave up and the change that it made in your life.